Hello everyone and welcome to Slipjoint Sawyer. Today we'll be taking a look at another discontinued model from Victorinox. Now this is one that was given to me as a gift by a subscriber, so thank you very much for sending this in. It's a really cool piece. It's one I was looking out for a very long time. It's going to be the Timekeeper, and you can probably guess why it's sort of taken this name, the Timekeeper. The big glaring clock on the front might give you a bit of a clue. So the model number for the Timekeeper is 1.3406, and there is one also available in black Cellidor. When I say available, unfortunately it's discontinued, so you will have to pick one up on the secondary market. Now these can be a little bit pricey depending on the condition they're in. This one was a gift, so I'm very grateful to the person that sent it to me. I absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. All I had to do really when it arrived was change the battery in the clock. That was it. Give it a bit of a sharper, nothing major. The Timekeeper then, so it's very closely related to the compact. The only difference being there's no tweezers, but there's a clock instead. Everything else is pretty much exactly the same. Now it does put together two great stuff from the Swiss, so Swiss Army knives of course, and they're also very good watchmakers. So I thought we'd just do a quick walk around the knife, look at the specs, all different pieces about the knife, and see what we got going on. So it's an older one. So we have the inlaid shield here with the Victorinox logo. You can just see that at the top, and it's always beautifully done. I mean, you can just about feel it over there, but it's not that there's any sort of stepping or gapping. It's just the texture change from the Cellidor into the sort of the shield on there. See how the clock is mounted. It's sort of pressed into the Cellidor scales, and you can see for this one they've bowed out the scale just down here, so you can see where it sticks a little bit above the liner, and they've actually had to engineer the liners with a bit of a cutout, so you can just about see that through there. And in order to change the battery on the clock, there is a little groove somewhere around here. I don't remember which side it is. There it is down there. So you just about see it under there. You put a little tiny flathead and you can just pop it out, and you can adjust the time then with this little dial on here, so you just pull it out with your nail. Same with a normal clock, so it clicks out once and you can spin it to adjust the time, and you just push it back in to get it running again. Now you can hear it ticking, but it's very quiet, nothing that you're going to sort of annoy you at all when it's in your pocket. Externals of the knife then on the back, we have the keyring, we have the toothpick, and then we have the ballpoint pen on the back here as well. Back tools, we have the corkscrew with the small flathead driver, great for sort of tightening up your glasses, lenses, anything along that sort of line, or just even perfect for changing the battery on the front. That's actually what I used. Just sort of took it out of here. You can get it just under the tab here and just pop it up that way. It is quite fiddly and it'll be hard to do on the camera, so I'm not going to pop it off. And then inside the slot here, we have the pin. Now, me personally, I've never really had a use for the pin, but I'm sure there's many, many uses that people will use that for. Apologies for the state of my hands. I'm actually in the middle of recovering and rebuilding a knife for a friend. So yeah, apologies for that. And then on the back as well, we have the multi-purpose hook, which lets us know this one was made after 1991. That's when it was sort of introduced. On the back, we have the combo tool. Of course, this would also be on the compact, as it is very closely related. And this then will be the tin opener, cap lifter, flathead screwdriver, small Phillips, and they're calling it the wire stripper, but I mean, there's not really any sharpened edges on it, so I don't know how you're meant to strip wire with that. If anyone's had any success, let me know in the comments below. I'm yet to have success with it. And of course, that being on a half stop for the extra torque when you're using it as the flathead screwdriver, and it does give you a nice snap on the open and the close as well. Front layer then, we have the shears or the scissors. See, they're pretty much immaculate condition. I don't think this knife has been used much at all. Leaf spring design, no half stop. One of my favourite tools on a Swiss Army knife. I know quite a few people, Paddy included, aren't a fan of having the scissors on the Swiss Army knives, but for me, I like to have them. Even if it's just a small pair of scissors, it makes it useful. And then finally we have the main blade on there. So you can see the polish on the blade. There's a little bit of scratching here and there. I did put an edge on it, but nothing really major to show that it's been used a whole lot. So we've got the 4-line tang stamp. There's a little bit of a cleanup in there. Seems to be a bit of grot in the pivot. Victorinox with a large V, Switzerland, stainless and Rostfry. And then on the back, you can see we have the bolt not touching the crossbow, which I believe is 92 to 05, I think. I want to say that's about right, which, you know, makes sense having the parcel hook on there. Nice snap on that close. The same from all Victorinox knives. It's about a 6 and about a 6.5 on the open. Now this is going to be a very UK legal knife, with most of these 91mm, if not all of them, are UK legal. So you've got 2.7 inch blade with a 2.4 inch cutting length, so that's going to be very UK legal. Not going to have any issues with that or carrying that. The whole knife in itself isn't, as the name says, is nice and compact, coming in at just over 3.5 inches, and with the clock it does add a bit of width for a 2-layer, but it's 3/4 of an inch, so probably about as wide as a 3-layer Cellidor model. Overall, really happy to get this knife in my collection. If I paid with it, I'd be as ecstatic because it's beautiful. The watch adds that sort of unique feature to it. No real hot spots in the hand when using it with that watch. You can feel it's there, but it's nothing sharp on it to sort of get in the way. You can't feel this wheel or anything like that. Overall, really impressed with this one. Great action on all the tools as well, which is always nice to see. The only thing I would say I would miss about this one would be the tweezers, because I do actually use the tweezers quite a lot. I'm always getting splinters, or, you know, if I've cut myself or something, you know, like cleaning up the wound, things like that, pulling off the excess bits of skin. I know a lot of you won't do that, but for me, you can see here where I've damaged my finger here, it's just a dry bit of skin. I'd probably use it to pull that off. So maybe if I'm going to carry it a lot, I would sort of modify the tweezers to fit in the back instead of the toothpick, because that's not something I really use. But there we go, guys. That is my review and overview of the Victorinox Timekeeper. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.